Okay, did I record it? I thought I had the recorder on, but anyway, I'm gonna double check on the thing. Right now, I know that indicating is recording, and I just spoke with Allison, Nosal, Nosal. That I remember the name that was signed it, but on the Federal Express tracking record, she says she on the computer record say yeah she received it. But here I spoke with her just a minute ago. I thought I had the camcorder on. While I spoke to her, apparently when I pushed the button, it didn't activate this cell phone. So now it is recording. I know but her name is Allison, Nosal. Just a minute ago, I spoke with her, and she says she did not receive the Federal Express letter that I sent Liu Khai Trac to Morgan & Morgan. At first, she says she did not, and then when I mentioned the tracking record. Yeah, hold on for that for a second. All right, continue recording it right here. So I'm gonna record to the name. See the name, and then this is the business card. This is a business card that she gave me, and she said that this is the number that she called. Yes, she called on the conference that I have to call using the conference phone in the office here. And I'm disappointed that why. I came here in person to talk to an attorney in person for consultation. Yet Allison Nosal said that was necessary. I need to make the phone for consultation instead of speaking to an attorney in person. I was very disappointed, and so today, that was yesterday, and this is a phone number she said. 1-888-670-2630. That's the number she said she dialed yesterday. She dialed the number on the conference phone in the office, and she allowed me the phone conference with the facility here at Morgan & Morgan, 810 Broadway, Nashville, Tennessee, and so. But then Tiffany, Tiffany Vance was the lady's name that I spoke to on the phone, and a lot of questions she was asking. That the question not because of as a professional question that a person would ask in the law office, but it was a question asking me what sort of case, what sort of classification would I classify the case? I am a client. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what category it should be in. I told her it's not a criminal case. That much of classification I can say. As a non-lawyer, I wouldn't know. And I asked her, and I told her that the story is so long, the 9,000 word story that I sent, and it takes time to. And I asked her that after you listen to the whole story before you decide what category that the case should be put in. You're the professional, not me. I wouldn't know what's the best. And but yes, she did not listen to the whole story. Just a story here and there, and then she made a decision. She decided that her office, that the Morgan & Morgan law firm, would not want it, or wouldn't care, or wouldn't take. I forgot. I had easily recorded my voice recorder. I'll double check on that. But in either case, law firm of Morgan & Morgan did not or would not represent me. Without listening to the whole story, I don't know how professional can any lawyer or any law firm employee or law firm I'm gonna put that on hold because of the noise. So, professionally speaking, a law firm of Morgan & Morgan, I'm outside the office right here, yeah, at 308 lawyers in the law firm, and here, the branch here in Nashville, I don't know how many lawyers here, but it's a reputable, supposedly, because what I'm saying, because I saw that on the computer. It said, I believe it 2015, if I remember correctly, the best law firm in the country. And that on the computer, it says 308 lawyers, and it's the best law firm in the nation. I believe the data is 2015, which is last year, and I was very impressed when I saw that on the computer. And so I certainly am pleased to take the extra effort. I walked from Pensacola, Florida, by foot on highway. I walked over 100 miles of distance before I finally decided to hitchhike. For safety reason and because of distance reason, I finally took the risk and hitchhiked and get here to Murphyboro, Tennessee, here now at Nashville, Tennessee. And only to find out that Morgan & Morgan law firm that require this receptionist, Allison, N-E-S-O-L, Nasol, the receptionist, who said that she did not receive the Federal Express mail coming from me in Pensacola, Florida. A letter to Morgan & Morgan, a 9,000 words story of my life as a victim of this conspiracy, government conspiracy, dated back to 1990. Actually, it's 1989. 1989, I think, is the case officially. The false, F-A-L-S-E, false arrest took place that evolved into today is a congressional hearing magnitude, a multi-state government conspiracy. It's not just a false arrest, but it did start with a false arrest. And here, the story, 9,000 words, story of my life. I sent it here on Federal Express, and she said she didn't got it. When I spoke with her just a few minutes ago here in the office, the receptionist, the very receptionist, the last name, that is N-A-S-O-L, that was signed it on the Federal Express. So it's her that received it. But yes, she said she did not receive the letter at first. When I spoke with her this morning, just a few minutes ago in the office, today, Wednesday, in Nashville, Tennessee, Morgan & Morgan, 18 Broadway. And I was just disappointed yesterday. But today, with this morning, she says that she did not receive the letter. Then I mentioned that according to the tracking record with Federal Express, then she said, yeah, I'm very disappointed that a professional law firm have a staff, a receptionist. She's a beautiful lady. I comment her, to be sure. I have no evil against her or the law firm, but I need to know what's going on. It just doesn't impress me, this kind of professional conduct. I need help. I need some professional help of some lawyer somewhere. She's yesterday, Allison Nasol, the receptionist here, when I was here yesterday, and it's recorded on my voice recorder, that she would require me to speak with one of the lawyer on the phone. When I told her that I came here all the way from Pensacola, Florida, and I explained to her that I attempt twice on the internet for the people.com, and some reason that the conspirator of mine or the enemies of mine has blocked on the internet, that I had to use a public library First, it was the Limbaugh Public Library at Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Limbaugh Public Library on Vine Street, right next to the Murfreesboro Police Department. I emailed on the forthepeople.com, and it never got here. And I called. I did receive a notification from the Morgan law firm on my computer, on my Gmail, indicated that yes, that if I need to call them right away, if it's an emergency, I need to call them on the phone and let them know so that they can evaluate me on the phone rather than evaluate my case in person. And so it was a phone, and I had to use the Journey Home facility phone. Journey Home is a facility that caters to the homeless, and I attend there for laundry service, hygiene, lunch, breakfast, and dinners at times, depends on the schedule. And I have to use, because I did not have any other means to communicate. So I have to use the telephone at the Journey Home. And when I call this Morgan law firm, the phone number that is the very number that is given to basically to everyone after they emailed it to this forthepeople.com. So I called in, and yet there was, just like yesterday, there was so much noise in the background. On the phone, I could hear talking with a lady when I was at the Journey Home phone that were available for use for the homeless, and I used it. And yet I heard so much noise on the background that I didn't feel it was the right thing. It doesn't sound professional. First of all, before anything else, I can speculate. I wouldn't know how to speculate initially. It was just, this is my first time to speak with a powerful law firm. I'm talking about 308 lawyers in the country, a law firm that's called Morgan & Morgan, for the people. The advertiser saw on a billboard in Pensacola, Florida. I was impressed. A few friends of mine has said, I heard some people in Pensacola and elsewhere, that Morgan & Morgan is a very reputable law firm for the people, by the people, so to speak. In fact, I even seen on the I believe a YouTube or some kind of audio or a video that some opponents of Morgan & Morgan, apparently opponent of John Morgan, were trying to defame Morgan & Morgan law firm reputation on the video. I think either YouTube or something, but it was on the video on the computer that I saw just recent time. Just before I get up to here in Nashville, and so here the Broadway. Where was the so I was impressed with that at least there's some opponent of John Morgan. Yeah, they said about him. Well, I think it was some sort of sheriff. At least that's what I saw on the audio, on the video. I think YouTube. Let me just call it YouTube for now. I think it's a YouTube, a YouTube video that is some sort of sheriff accused of John Morgan, and of course, based on the video content, there was some kind of alcohol or something exactly for sure. I think it had to do with alcohol, and John Morgan was drunk or something like that, to be sure. I do not want to accuse anyone wrongfully, but I want to speak clearly. As of now, I do not have I do not recollect all the information because I'm right on the street. Just a look of my face, you could see from this camera, this is tremendous stress on me. And with all the noise of traffic, rain, and it is difficult to concentrate. So excuse me for the time being, yeah, the best I can. And I'm going to say that, yeah, I think there was some kind of alcohol accusation of John Morgan drunk and so forth and so forth. And John Morgan was used some kind of But anyway, back to the recording. Yeah, I didn't realize that because of the traffic and I was distracted. So I'm back that I don't read. When I put a pause a moment ago, so I don't know where I left it. I just noticed that it was on pause, so I put it back on recording. And so how are they going to go out? I'm going to put it on Facebook, Google Plus, or YouTube, anything I can. I'm a ramble. I'm doing it by myself. I don't have financial support from anyone. I'm up against this vast conspiracy, multi-state government, from Indiana, Missouri, Florida, to now Tennessee. But I'm not afraid. I have many friends all over the country praying for me. I have sufficient information dispersed all throughout the country. In the event of something might happen to me, including death, the spirit of one of our founding fathers, give me liberty or give me death, to uphold the Constitution that was given a legacy for us Americans to enjoy. And I, as one of the 320 million Americans, I will, at the sacrifice of my life if necessary, to uphold this Constitution. The legacy that was left behind to us future generation of Americans, and I am one. I'm proud to be American, a Chinese American from Vietnam in 1975. And here, I'm surprised. So let me reiterate about Roy Moore, since I do not recall whether it's recorded or not because it was on pause. I just noticed. I have spoken over 1,000 hours in the last 2 years or more in public places like this, mostly at McDonald's restaurant and library and elsewhere. Like I'm doing right now in public places, distraction all around, the best I can. For I have been homeless for over 10 years, after 10 years of federal imprisonment, and before that, years and years of harassment and police arrest as well. That is going back, I believe, in 1989. In the letter to Morgan, I said 1990. I think actually it happened in 1989, the false arrest. And here, let me comment on a little bit. Roy Moore. That is. People everywhere stalking me, yes. It's a distraction of the... Psychologically, basically, they couldn't. I know that the last thing they couldn't do is put a 30-06 on me. Or 10 millimeter, they couldn't. I know they couldn't. They would have killed me long ago. So they would, at all costs, at all costs, other than death, they couldn't. They want to stop me. So as people stalking, those are just one of, it's emotionally very distracted, psychologically, Just a look at my face, you could see on this camera how stressful it is, how distracting it is. My eyes are almost everywhere. That I have to constantly. The look at my face is how stressful it is. Now it's much better when you look at some other video, which I'm going to upload it when I can. Those other videos, the face of mine just so unthinkable. The stress, look, the distraction. But here anyway, with Roy Moore. Now I wrote 22 handwritten pages on constitutional issue on same-sex marriage. I'm a Christian and a fundamental Baptist that I am. And I'm a Christian, and I'm using based on the book of Romans. How constitutional, 22 handwritten pages. I haven't had time to upload it, otherwise I would love to. But among that is a 1,000 words, 4 articles are written. One of them is 1,000 words also on a Roy Moore constitutional issue. 2 cases that Chief Justice Roy Moore in the year 2000 when he was Chief Justice of Alabama Supreme Court. The case regarding the same subject as 1993, the 10 Commandments, that he is affectionate, that he's a Christian, that he's embraced the 10 Commandment conviction of his strongly at even the cost of his career as a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, or his employment as a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and as a circuit judge in 1993. And this article, the legal argument for Roy Moore, that the second case, 2000, I could not defend him on the legal ground. But in 1993, this is my approach. 1993, there were 10 wooden commandments that was displaced on the wall behind him. The courtroom that he was a presiding judge, and some other circuit judge demanded, required that complaint that he removed. Among, besides prayer and other issue, but there's a 10 wooden commandment. Now here's a legal constitutional platform argument. If I were a bank manager in my very office, it's absolutely my constitutional right to place a picture of anyone of my affection, my desire, be a picture of my family, a picture of Space Hubble, a base of astronomy subject, the Milky Way, astronomy, the subject of these over 1,000 hours that I have spoken, like I'm doing right here, right now, without video recording, over the last 2 years or so. Majority of that 1,000 hours, yes, is astronomy, and I love it. But should I put a picture, a model, or an artifact of any affection of mine? My passion, absolutely, is my constitutional to place the subject, the article, the artifact in my office as a bank manager. But it'll be against the constitutional right of my colleague have I put any of those articles just mentioned in the office of any of my colleagues. Nor would they put any of those article fact of their desire in my office. My constitutional right is good for anyone else. Here's Roy Moore, the 10 Commandments, wooden 10 Commandments, an affection of his conviction as a Christian. Should he desire, provided in a courtroom, the venue where he is a presiding judge, provided number 1. Yeah, behind me is 810 Broadway, that's what he did. Provided number 1, if those articles yield no chemical odor where bailiff court attendants. or defendant, prosecutor, lawyer, and so forth, anyone in the courtroom that may allergic to chemical reaction, and that is a constitutional concern. It's a health safety issue. Certainly is a constitutional right concern. Secondly, if it poses no physical visibility obstruction, the debate of the witness, the attorney, the DA, and the court, any court attendant will need the visibility to see all that is in the courtroom. Certainly, the witness stand. As long as it brings no visibility obstruction. Yeah. Now, while I'm here, I'll mention this is a common tactic. All this siren. Not that I won't be distracted, but I'm gonna take advantage of it. At here's the ambulance there that will pass by. So I'm gonna take advantage of mention of that. Do not mean to distract anyone. It's a tactic that they do it all the time. Whether in Pensacola, the largest number of ambulances that I ever seen in one place. I call it sometimes Armageddon. All the ambulance, all the police units, all the fire truck congregate together within the same block or so and fire their siren and flash their light. So much is destroyed psychologically. Now in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, when I arrived there on October the 20th, and I challenge any resident there, check the records after October 22nd. Today is December the 28th. I just arrived here yesterday from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Here's Nashville. And I challenge any resident, have you ever seen or heard this many ambulances and fire trucks and police units, siren after siren, so regularly, so frequently? Have you? I challenge any resident before October 20th. But I arrived at Murfreesboro, Tennessee on October 20th, 2016. Yes. Psychologically, that's where they aim at me. That's how important I am, significant that I am, how valuable that I am. Over 1,000 hours spoken material, or more than 10 different scientific disciplines, from Bible to science to geology to many others. And yet, yeah, here today, this is the second day I'm here at the Nashville, and this is our very first siren, an ambulance just went by. That's why I took the time. To me, it's an advantage. I took advantage of it, recorded, so that the public know. These are tactics beside people stalking, beside false arrests, beside employment, beside stolen my social security card, my U.S. naturalization paper, my driver's license, beside my passport that result in unemployable condition for 10 years. And here, so it's a common tactic, and here, I'm gonna put it on hold. All right, so it's recording. This is someone who came by, and it's just a tactic. All right, let me see him a little bit. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah, that's a guy. There's a guy just came in trying to distract me. It's a tactic. They do that all the time. So I'm a Rambo, you see. A good Rambo. A Rambo is strong, fighting good. And they can use a lot of psychology, a lot of subliminal suggestion as well, voodoo power as well. They do. And yeah, many of them Catholic. Read my story. They suggest a lot of the link to it. And then you decide it. Am I accusing anyone? I refuse to accuse anyone without acquisition of fact. But it's not speculative and suspicious already. Check that out. And I challenge you to look at my Facebook, Liu Khai Trac, Liu Khaitrac, on Facebook and Google+. And I will mention about Google+ as well. Larry Page, one of the co-founders of Google, according to the data I just researched the other day, was $36.9 billion. But Google Plus has caused me some trouble. Google has caused me some trouble. Personally, I do not believe Larry Page is involved. I hope he's not. I do not think so. At this moment, I think he's busy enough to conduct his business. But unfortunately, it's my conviction some employees at Google being contaminated by the conspiracy, by the conspirator. Yes, I'm convinced with that. I'll speak more on that, but check on Google Plus, check on Facebook. I'll upload a letter that I sent to Google Plus, who accused me of violating the policy. And I sent a letter. I'll put it on Facebook, Google Plus, and YouTube when I can. I sent a letter on December 6th, I believe, when I got a chance. My hands tied up right now. When I got a chance, I will post it for the public to see. Google Plus had not just one, some of the employees of Google. Larry Page, I think he's too busy right now. Too busy to run his business. I don't think Larry Page wants to play dirty politics. I don't think Larry Page could afford to play dirty politics. $36.9 billion, the 12 richest men in the world. I believe it's just a few years statistic. And he worked hard for that Google. I don't think he would want to ruin his reputation, his net worth, his hard work of all these years to build up Google. But it's my conviction, beyond a shadow of doubt, some employee at Google has been contaminated by the government conspirators. That's how magnitude is situated here. Yet Tiffany Valls of Morgan & Morgan yesterday over the telephone conference said that she could not, without even listening to the whole story, just a small fraction of the story. And she concluded that the law firm could not. It's not because there's no finance incentive. A law firm whose business represents people besides, yeah, it's a business. It's a financial incentives involved. $25 million being offered, as far as I'm concerned. But yet, Morgan & Morgan, Tiffany, I was just very disappointed. So he's back. So it was a Roy Moore, the subject again. I apologize, yet my subject are romans everywhere because of all the distraction, and certainly, and I'm trying to compress so much of the complex story into such a short time. So pardon me that I have to jump to from here and there, beside all these distractions. But anyway, that year, the awareness, which is great. But anyway, back to Roy Moore. That is a bank manager, that's what I would do. And here, so Roy Moore, as long as it raised no visibility is concerned, and thirdly, as long as it raised no physical obstruction. In the event of earthquake, in the event of fire, in the event of natural catastrophe, in the event that the 10 wooden commandment, if it does raise the path, blocking the pathway, is of concern. And certainly is a constitutional right of any. But none of that has raised by the 10 wooden commandment of Circuit Judge Roy Moore in 1993. Now, such a legal argument, I think any lawyer, anyone with just some common sense, without having any law degree, can understand the constitutionality of it for all Americans, not just Circuit Judge Roy Moore, who is a Christian, who is passionate and determined, convicted about his belief in the wooden Ten Commandments. Suppose if that circuit judge was a God hater, a communist, obviously the law would govern, would prohibit that. But if that judge is a liberal, if that judge is a God hater, if that judge, he could put a post, some other similar, maybe not 10 wooden commandments, but the same fundamental concept, is a constitutional right for all Americans. But for Roy Moore, yeah, as his affection, his conviction as a Christian, and absolutely, whether he's a Christian or not, it's a constitutional issue that we address it, and it's a constitutional right for all, black, white, red, yellow, or blue, of 320 million Americans that we have today. And so that on that basic legal argument, I believe strongly that you would have win the case for Roy Moore. And I shared that case with a few friends of mine in Pensacola, and every one of them raised no objection, raised no question whatsoever regarding my legal argument on that. And I wrote and I emailed to several friends as well after besides I spoke in person with some, and I emailed to some. And one day when my computer was messed up because of all the conspiracy, because the virus that they planning to into my laptop and computer, that I was upset, and I hammered onto the laptop with my fist. Even though it didn't damage my laptop, I erased it. Factory reset. But somehow factory reset, I lost. It's not that I didn't know how to factory reset many times. But it's a manipulation of the conspirator. You under the excuse of factory reset, and I lost all my writing. Now I have to rewrite them. When I got a chance, I will. And friends of mine that I emailed to, I asked them to email it back to me, the same article if they could. But every one of them with excuses after excuses. I found out they are not friends of mine. They are not church friends of mine. They were under the influence of conspirator. Excuses after excuses that they couldn't. What a friend. Or maybe not a friend at all. It's so obvious. So here, Morgan and Morgan likewise. Tiffany, I was surprised, disappointed. When I post that voice recording later on, you will find the tone of my voice, listening and speaking, suggest, Tiffany, how could that be? You are a professional staff at a law firm that with 308 lawyers, named to be the best law firm in the nation as of 2015, I believe. And yet, you wouldn't know what classification should be under. And yet you would consult me instead of I consult you. Or who's it consulting? Who? Am I a lawyer? Am I a client? That I should tell you what classification should be listed under? Without listening to the whole story, but just a fraction of the story, they reach the conclusion that the law firm could not represent me. It's very suspicious. There's a lot of questions in mind. I like to find out. It's just a matter of time. In the background with so much noise, I asked Tiffany, how come there's so much background noise? She said that's just the way it is. How professional it is. A law firm would conduct a behavior like that. A homeless like me, yes, background noise everywhere. People are walking by as well. But a professional, the best law firm in the nation of 2015 will have that kind of professional or perhaps unprofessional behavior. They couldn't afford a budget financially to get a better conference set up. That's a very surprising, very disappointing. And then she would ask near the end, I think I said $20 million instead of 25. Yeah, I think I said $20 million. But it was 25 as of last Sunday. But I forgot, I mentioned, I said 20. That's how stressful I've been. I even forgot something this important. And she said, are you asking what if that is the right number, $20 million? I said, no, I'm not asking. I'm just telling you the story that's surrounding it. There's a lot of question about that question as well. When she said, you're asking us to say if $20 million is the right number or the proper financial compensation, there's a lot of question behind that. You're gonna raise a lot of speculation just on that. At least it would require a lot of time to study. Without factual accusation, it's unfair to accuse. And I will not do that. But I will say, and I just said it, and I'll repeat it again, there's a lot of questions that I have in mind, and I need to look into it. And I will. Difficult that may be. Without financial resources, without computer, and I'll go to public library. That's what I use. Public library causes problems just like that. But I'll fight my way through it. And I'll put on Facebook, anyone, Library of Limbaugh, I will. Library at Walker, James E. Walker, Middle Tennessee State University. I will mention it on Facebook. I will not accuse, but I will mention it for the jury of the public to look upon it. Without factual right, I will not cry, I will not accuse. But I'll let the jury to see how suspicious it is and how professional it is, how responsible it is. That people of professional level behavior. Because people will need to go to James E. Walker Public Library, and people will go to the Middle Tennessee State University, send their student there to attend the university and the service provided at the university. And Limbaugh Public Library, people resident there will need to service there. Check out book and using computers so that they know the tax money, property tax money or otherwise, how it is spent and what is it using for. And how responsible or how competent the professional staff. I'll let the jury to decide. Without fact, I can't and I will not accuse anyone. But I'm stating this is the fact. The fact is to let the jury to decide what it is. How responsible, how competent, how suspicious it is. A homeless like me, without finance, distractions everywhere, isn't it? Traffic, not only people. And the ambulance just walked by earlier, as I said. And Google Earth, yes. is watching. It'll be one of the biggest fight is the Google Earth, because all these decades, plural, decades of public harassment, public stalking, because that's where I've been living, on the street for 10 years. And in other years that when I was not homeless, there was still police officer. When Google Earth will reveal how often that police officer vehicles surround my vicinity. So coincident. Google Earth, and that'll be one of the biggest legal fight, because lawyers of my representation will have to require or request, or rather request the judge to grant a subpoena, to request the cooperation of Google to release those data that relevant or pertinent to my situation. Naturally, it's a constitutional right of Google, but only confined to those data that pertaining my life on public. Google Earth sees them all, besides God does. Those people who do not believe in God, watch it. Google Earth does. When I have time, I speak more on the nature of God and technology. I love it. Over 1,000 hours. I love technology, and I love stuff like this. I do. Astronomy is just my most occupied hours of this 1,000. I let the public know who I really am. Besides homeless, I don't have any university degree. I don't. I just self-taught. By the grace of God, I learned. A few college courses, that's all I have. I'll speak on math. I'll speak on astronomy. I'll speak on space Hubble. I'll speak on supernova, black hole, planetary formation, age of the Earth, age of the universe. I'll speak on the Dr. Michio Kaku's space elevator. I'll speak on planet Mars, life form or not, water or not. I'll speak on Allen Hill, that found in 1980 by archaeology. The NASA scientists prompted former President Bill Clinton to make a national televised address speaking of this Allen Hill, a 4.3 pound asteroid spun out of planet Mars 17 million years ago, arrived here on Earth in 1980, discovered that suggests life form in planet Mars. Speak on that. Right now, just looking on Facebook, yeah, I wrote a little bit about theory of Einstein, special and general relativity. I wrote 2 articles. One article that I have not found yet. The Facebook account, because the loss of or stolen of my computers. It is my belief that the old Facebook account has been closed. But yet it's still there, but apparently 6 months before that the content disappeared on Facebook, even though the account is closed. It's my learning. And so it was just about 2-3 months ago. So whatever content still on Facebook, the old account of Facebook from Pensacola, Florida, those contents should still be there. But I do have checked and I noticed it, that many of the articles had disappeared, vanished. I wrote 2 articles on Einstein theory, but thus far I received 1 article, and it's on my new Facebook account by the same name, Liu Khai Trac, Liu Khai Trac on Facebook. But this Liu Khai Trac is of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that the account on Facebook is open. Here I'm speaking right here on 810 Broadway, Nashville, Tennessee. But it's on Facebook, and I love science. And so here, because of time, I'm going to end it for now. This is Liu Khai Trac signing out. I'll produce more video by the grace of God. Give me liberty or give me death. As long as I'm alive, as long as I have the ability, I will share the information. I'll share my learning as well to the public. And I would like to write books in the time to come. I would like and I would love to have a financial investor as well. My idea is that I'm capable, my confidence, $1 investment with $10 return in 1 year of time. I have a plan. I have this is a financial plan. $1. This is what if I can do it, I would. If I have any investor or anyone, I don't know what it is. But this is my plan. I like to share, but right now I don't have any financial capability. I'm homeless. I'm here at this Nashville rescue mission. This is my second day there. Today is Wednesday, December 28, 2016. Just 3 days after Christmas of 2016. I wrote about politics. I love politics. I thought of being a independent presidential candidate, running up against the president at the time. I call him DJ because I love music. DJ Trump, because it so happened his middle initial is J, Donald, so I call him DJ. With due respect, that is, because I love science. I love music, so I call him DJ. It's my DJ. Yeah, President Donald Trump, that is. But at the time, before the election, I thought of running as an independent presidential candidate. I have a plan. To bring the American dream back, I have a plan. I have a plan how to campaign without finance of millions of dollars. But anyway, so I do have a lot of plans. I have a lot of ideas. My enemy knows it. Just that I do not have the finance, because 10 years I've been unemployed. They stole my social security card. Now they want to give it to me. I will not take it. It's a strategy. For 10 years they stole my social security card. That result unemployable. But now it's a situation. I'm gaining the upper hand. And they pleaded with me to the tune of $25 million. And now they want to give me the social security card so that they can erase whatever wrongdoing they have done in the courtroom. That's what it is. In the courtroom, then they can present to the jury that I have a social security card that I do not want. No, it's not that I do not want a social security card. It's a legal strategy that they're planting for 10 years without social security card, without my U.S. citizenship, without my driver's license, without my passport as well. That I went back to Vietnam, I went to Hong Kong, went back to Vietnam twice, went to Hong Kong once with my passport. But now it's all stolen except a Florida ID card, which is a story I'll mention. It's mentioned in my story to Morgan & Morgan. Look it on again, Facebook and Google+. Liu Khai Trac, LiuKhaitrac. But with that in mind, I'm signing out. Liu Khai Trac. And hopefully that anyone in the sound of my voice, lend me your support. I need you. I'm risking my life to uphold the Constitution. A Constitution for all. A Constitution with the spirit of one of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. Give me liberty or give me death. My Gmail account, it is dollargeneral1@gmail.com. Dollargeneral1. That is the word one rather than numerical one. 316@gmail.com. May God bless America. May God bless all of us. And I like to uphold the Constitution, and I love to evangelize. I share with you an article I have written, a preliminary rough draft outline of 3,417 words that is revised up to 5,000 words, but it's lost. It's in my computer. Titled, Making America the Greatest Nation Ever, where I outline the issue America is facing and how we can overcome. Among one of them is bring the American dream back. With this again, once again, Liu Khai Trac. God bless y'all.